All right, it's pretty much impossible to get back here, let alone film and get back here. But it's definitely rough. This is after I vacuumed and vacuumed and vacuumed. A lot of rust. You know, I'm assuming this has probably never seen attention in years because it's not possible to get back here with the sound shield on. You know, and it's barely possible with the sound shield off, which I finally got the last pieces of. You know, I had to snap some fasteners, got them out. It's going in the trash. This is never ever going back on. In my other videos, it didn't really make that much difference in sound, and it makes this unserviceable. So, going in the trash. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just commit to doing all the cooling system to the exhaust manifold, heat exchanger, or no, I'm sorry, just the exhaust manifold thing. It looks a little crusty. I think that's gonna come off. I've got all new cooling hoses already that I've just yet to do. So it's apart all the way down. You know, the exhaust is off. I had to cut the exhaust hoses. You know, I want to paint this cover, you know, fix some shoddy wiring, you know. Okay, I've got some nice Deutsch connectors to put there. So I think the generator is going to be down for a little bit, but we're just going to make it right. Okay. Furthering the commitment on the generator, we're going to drain the coolant, rip off every hose, rip off the exhaust manifold, get all those pieces off, and try to do all the deconstruction tonight. This is Sunday at 7 o'clock in the evening because that's the best time to start a project, is when you should be winding down. Nope, let's get to it. So 1/2-inch socket to open the drain for the coolant. Got some 3/8 hose going into my bucket to be recycled. Just gonna let that drain out. Did pop the radiator cap off there to break the vacuum and substantially increase flow. All right. And yes, of course, it's still gonna be coolant in the heat exchanger, as that is still much higher than that. But at least collect as much as I can before it just goes. Shorter hose up front, the longer hose goes around. Both these go to the heat exchanger. Back at it with another good old time in the garage, painting, getting stuff ready to go back together. Waiting on hoses for a lot of these pieces. Got a brand new starter. Alternator is good to go. Getting that cleaned up, that was horrible. Exhaust manifold was, well, exhaust elbow was pretty rough. Heat exchanger, you know, getting some primer, Rust-Oleum. Then we're gonna go back with gloss white with a couple coats of all this stuff. Gonna be looking really great. I'm not sure if the time lapse caught that, but I just yeeted the ground cable off and just cut it off. There is no way I can get my mitts in there to get that bolt off. It is just absolutely destroyed. I'm going to have to cut it. Did get those redone and heat shrunk. That looks good. Put a new Deutsch connector but for the governor unit there. Re-terminated everything for the alternator. I'm gonna still do the spade connectors. So the starter alternator wiring is good. Yeah, so I'm going to re-terminate that ground cable. I've already re-terminated the starting cables. Going to do the same for this one as well. This went up to the battery, and then the cable there went from the battery to the generator. So get all that squared away, get this redone. I'm going to redo the battery breaker connections as well. I've got a brand new battery switch that's going to go there. Fun. So I made mention of this on the forum for those of you that are there, but I found that a lot of these heat shrink connections just really weren't glued well. Gosh, I hope this will focus. It probably won't. But when I cut it with a knife, it just peels. Trying to use one-handed. It just peels right off. Like it really wasn't glued down. I mean, did it do its job? Yeah, I mean, it kept moisture out mostly. I mean, this particular one isn't extremely corroded, but it definitely didn't glue to the satisfaction that I would think. So that's why on the ones I just did, at least those are on the time lapse, the glue comes out of the end and really adheres and melts. And I'll clean up the end of the wiring with acetone as well, so that helps stick to the insulation, especially when you're re-terminating, because so much junk and grime will get on these wires over the years. So, food for thought.
are you really a boat mechanic unless you're chasing threads in your galley? You know, food, tools, same thing. So finally have all the parts, dare I say, to start putting things back together. This exhaust gasket was one of the last things I was waiting for. So chasing all these holes, getting these nice and clean, brand new hardware, new gaskets, everything freshly painted. And we're gonna start putting things back together. I'm gonna chase all of those holes as well, get those all cleaned up. Nothing was like particularly wrong. It's just some debris and junk and rust from all the years. I had to really struggle to get these out, torch everything. It was a mess. So chasing these, and we'll get it assembled. All right, assembled, torqued to that much. New grade 8 hardware, chased the threads, anti-seize, new gasket, hardware, clean, surface prep, new thermostat, everything. So please, 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 this should be ready to go. And I even cut the old bolt heads off to do alignment studs to get this in with the exhaust manifold gasket, because this is going to be heavy. I will film that for you, and that's coming up next. Watch me struggle putting this on. Alright, so we're going to do the torque sequence. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So it's kind of middle, top, bottom, the back, top, bottom, forward, top, forward, back, bottom. Okay. Let's do that. And torque spec is 14 foot-pounds. So one, 2, then we've got 3, which I'm going to need the extension for, I think. I got to find the extension. So we got 1, 2, and then 3. Boy, I really did myself in on that one. Idiot. Oh, just get the hoses on and make sure the hoses will fit before you frickin' torque the manifold down. That was stupid. I mean, why would the hoses not fit when this is installed? That would be dumb. The problem is I've seen dumber. Be a to get back off, of course. I can't believe I did this to myself. Thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. So silly. Let's try again. All right. Top, middle, and then top, and back, bottom. Torqued. Alright, exhaust manifold bolts torqued to 14 foot-pounds. Click, 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 done. Alright, so hoses on, all the hoses were on. Now I'm going to get ready for the heat exchanger. I think that'll be the next thing there. Work on the front of the engine. I can hook up this electrical cable on the elbow here. Of course, we've got water to contend with. I've got all new hoses there as well. Heat exchanger is ready to go. I got a new cable clamp for that. I probably look like a mess, but I ran the engines today, and despite it being 33 degrees outside right now, it's 65 plus in here. So it's a little warm when you're working, but making good progress. Alright, so those are sequenced and torqued to spec. Click. Got all the hoses on and all of that good stuff. I'm going to focus on the heat exchanger next and getting that set up and in place. I got a new cable cushion clamp to fit that and get rid of that broken, tangled mess. That all that did is actually cut a hole into the hose, or at least almost a hole. So I'm going to work on the heat exchanger and some hoses up there next. I can get the alternator back on now, which I probably should have done before that last hose, but alternator can go back on, get that wired up. It's going. This is a project. Wow. Okay, so I think everything is actually hooked up. All the cooling lines are on, hose clamps were checked, coolant's pretty full, aftermarket temperature gauge is installed, remote fuel filter installed that is 2 or 3 micron, pretty stout, probably way better than what was on there. And this shouldn't blow fittings off like the other one was at risk of. Still can get to the oil filter. I mean, this is just one nut to slide away. You know, have to take it off to get the water pump, but you know, very infrequent. And I think you would have to take the other fuel filter off anyway to get to this stuff. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got this cracked open for the bleeder. I'm gonna just run the pump and get this full of fuel because that sounds pretty empty. And I just don't want to crank it with, you know, no fuel and fill up the water muffler and all that. So I'm gonna stick my head. Where can I get a ground from? I guess the battery, because I had to change a fitting out on the fuel filter as well, or the main ray core. So it's probably gonna take a little bit to get this bled out. I'm really not trying to make a mess on my fresh paint. Let's see if I can. Actually, it might be. That might actually be full. Where can I put you guys? Just hold you for a second. And that's pumping straight fuel out of there, so I guess we'll try it. Snug that up a little bit. Another diesel soaked rag. I really appreciate that. All right, let me plug Okay. All right, battery on. Preheat. Oh my goodness. Why am I nervous? Preheating. We got a crank. All right, well, it runs. I think I'm gonna need some tape and sealant there. Obviously that's got a little bit of a leak. I see a couple drips. Let's see. A couple splashes on that hose, but it could have been from me spilling something before, so let me go ahead and take that off and get that squared away. Unfortunately, that's going to be a mess, but I need to get that sealed up. So I'm going to do that off camera and come back. Well, I finally think that wraps up the generator. A couple small things left to do, like put the breather hose on, and I'm going to do a better intake system, but just ran it for an hour under load. Tiny leak at the zinc, of all things. I don't see any coolant leaks or anything like that. Stayed below 160 the whole time. Exhaust was cold like it should be, with cold water and whatnot, so flowing good there. The new connector I put in there, gray, for the governor, all works flawlessly there as well. Some more painting to do, some more touch-ups, a couple loose ends, but putting that remote spin-on filter for the fuel was really nice. Getting rid of that plastic can, and apparently has had leaks before, or other people have had those fail where the fuel line fitting comes right off of those. So yeah, I think this job is pretty much done. This was a big one. This took a lot of time, mostly because I was waiting on parts. It took weeks to get some of these parts. I mean, I got them for a good price. They're Kohler parts. They came, you know, Kohler bags and everything, but I think that company had to pull them from somewhere, get them inbound, and then reship them to me. I can't complain with the price. They were really good on prices. But yeah, I think we're about wrapped up here. Every hose was replaced, you know, raw water, coolant, exhaust, all fresh, new. Every new hose clamp. We are looking good. All right, on to the next project. If you can, hit that subscribe button for me for many more videos to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.